I remember you telling me a long time ago. I don't know if you were at a strip club or something, but this guy was it was a white guy with glasses. You said
No, that was a brother.
it was a brother.
Yes, that was a
Okay,
brother, baby. That
and
was a brother.
it was this woman. I guess who spread her legs open. She was dancing, and
Yeah,
everybody was yelling, "Eat it, eat it!" He was
yeah.
going like that.
They kept. Oh yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, I forgot about that. He brought it up. Yeah, what story B? Basically, yeah, he was sitting there. He had glasses. You know, nerdy looking type of guy for the most part. So his boys around him kept inviting her over, giving them money to come over. And every time they come over, they would say, "Eat, eat." He was like, no. Finally, one time, they said that to him. They must have put something in his drink. My man would add it. When he came up, glasses all like this. The whole bar went nuts, man. Went nuts. You got a good memory, boss. The whole bar went. I mean, you had to be there to get that one.
I was like, I know that wasn't Big Al.
No, that wasn't Big Al. That wasn't Big Al. That wasn't Big Al.
Welcome to the First 40 with the Goon Squad. It is I, Puma, along with Black Thor and Ice Water. We're going to get to hot topics. And one of the things I wanted to talk about hot topics, I know I criticized this guy for years for being selfish when he was at OKC and him making bad decisions and things of that sort. But Russell Westbrook had a record-breaking season, passing Oscar Robinson. He also broke some other records. He passed up Larry Bird in scoring. And so over the years, I've seen how his game has changed, where when you thought of Russell Westbrook, Black, you didn't really think about triple doubles. You just thought about him hoisting 3-point shots at late in the game when they didn't need him and letting the other team back in the game when he was at OKC and the KD split and people calling him a selfish player. What are your thoughts about Russell Westbrook's season?
You know, it's funny because I admire him what he's accomplished because that's not easy. And his ferocity to go get rebounds is just
6'3".
It's just his will when he's out there playing. I'm the only other person I can honestly say, because I look at Will sometimes. The only Will that comes close that I've seen throughout the years of me watching basketball is Michael Jordan. Because this brother has a will about him that he's just basically. And I was listening to Chris Broussard the other day, and he brought back and he jogged my memory. Russ caught a lot of flack playing with Durant, but he played more because Durant was a punk back then. He was a punk. I remember even when the series against Golden State, Game 7, Durant missed like his first 19 shots. So Russ sometimes stepped in and ended up looking like the bad guy because Durant didn't have the balls to get it done. So from that, I think that's always followed him. But I will say this though, man, I try to be balanced. I watched him last night and play. And to me, this is, I admire what he's accomplished, what he does. But here's the problem with Russell Westbrook. Last 3 minutes of a game, he just screws up, bro. He just finds a way not to get it done. Time in and time out and time in. Last night was a perfect example. He came down against the Hawks. He did a couple of good things in the last couple of minutes. Then, like the last minute and a half, he's giving up the ball. He's taking a bad shot. And it's like, for some reason, he hasn't found a way to put games away. He's good throughout the course of the game. And he gives you a lot. But if he could have done that in his career, he would have been even higher, in my opinion. But I admire what he accomplished. I mean, passing the great old Oscar Robinson.
That's a feat.
Yeah, that's a feat right there, bro. But the way he goes after rebounds and and when you look at him, he's not a jump shooter for the most part. So a lot of his shots come from going to the basket and going to the free throw. So amazing player, man. Amazing player. And I think he'll probably, at this point, I think he pulled himself and really out of the muck and mire and probably develop a legacy for himself. His name now will have something kind of pinned to it. So for that, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I saw that game too against the Hawks, and man, they missed Bradley Beal. They missed another scorer really bad on that team, and it made me think, Ice, that we're going to be still talking about Russell, but it made me think that what's the sense of Washington going in if Bradley Beal's not going to be there? But Russell Westbrook first.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I was reminded because I'm a little. I wouldn't say I'm not a hater of Russell Westbrook. I think his game's a little different for me, but I was reminded that these are different eras. This is a different era. And the way they play basketball is different. So when he broke the record of the Big O, and I'm sitting there going like, maybe he's not the way he didn't break it the way I thought he should have broke it, but I can't take away from him what he's done because the accomplishment itself is what it is. And then understanding too that when he came out and mentioned why he plays, it's not really so much for championships. He plays a certain kind of way. Then I had to kind of give him kudos for that for breaking the assist record, the triple double record because of the factor that maybe that's how he's gonna, as it was mentioned before, that's how he's gonna stand on his legacy, the certain things that he does well. But he always his motor is so strong, always has been. He has one of the most serious motors going today. Thing is though, Russ is Russ, man. Russ don't care about nobody else. Russ reminds me, it's funny, I mean, I take nothing from him because he's a hell of a player and he works hard. He reminds me of and I'm not saying he's a straight gunner, but the mindset that he can play with anybody. I'm gonna play my way. If you play with me, cool. I'm gonna try to play with you. But there are certain people, and when I watch basketball in the NBA, and their mindset is the same way. They're gonna get theirs, and hopefully you can get yours too. I'm talking about people like World Be Free, right? Yeah. Talking about guys like Vinnie Johnson, the microwave when he played with the Bad Boys. Certain guys is gonna get their shot, and they're gonna take the shot, and they play with the greats. You look at World Be Free with the Sixers, 1977 when they were loaded, Dr. J, George McGinnis, Henry Bibby, all cats like that. He still was pulling, but that's Russ. And even Durant mentioned it when they played OKC. He's like, yo, man, Russ is going to be Russ. So, but that does not make him a bad player. It's just more or less, it's who he is. So when you guys mentioned before about him taking, not maybe finishing games, a certain kind of way, I know he cares, but I don't think it's like, yo, man, I'm out here, I'm working, I'm playing, I'm putting it in. If it happens and it works in our favor, great. If not, hey, we're playing again tomorrow, right? I think that's just his mindset, bro, because he's so strong in far as his talent that it's just like, this is who I am, and you like it or you don't. Because I think so many other players are worried about, you see Harden when he ran to Brooklyn and Durant when they're trying to win. I think he wants to win, but it's like, if I don't win, I'm still like the number one, number two player on my squad, right? And I'm one of the best players in the league. And to me, that's all I got. That's all I care about. Y'all can go with the rest of it, and that's who he is. But I think the accomplishment in itself says a lot about him. And when he sets his mind to something, he usually can go after it. And like I said, it's a different way of looking at the game now, the way that they play it. But it's a shame that he doesn't. I don't know if he does or not. It doesn't. That if he looked at winning the same way, hell, who knows what would happen?
Yeah.
And that's how I see him. But take nothing from his talent. Hell of a player, strongest motor, and you can't tell him he can't play against anybody. I'm serious. His attitude is like, I don't give a who. All right, bring him out here. So kudos to him.
I was reading a GQ article on him recently, and do you know what food he eats before a game to get him fueled up and to keep his tank full? Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Every game. He's done it since high school, he says, and throughout college, and still in the pros, he still stays to the same regimen. Doesn't eat a lot of meat, eats a lot of fish, pasta, but peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So get your PBJs, kids, and you can be like Russell Westbrook.
That's some strawberry quick milk, and you're all set right there, baby.
Ice water. There's one team I wanted to mention in our NBA eye test because we're coming close to the playing game on the 18th of May. But there's a team that's been under the radar who has been kind of slowly but surely tanking, and nobody's talking about it. It's the Detroit Pistons. They got rid of all the players they could trade. They got draft picks, and they have been tanking like a big dog, trying to get the number one pick and losing as many games as possible. I think they've won 1 out of their 10 last games, Ice. But give me your eye test on the NBA.
Well, I mean, you say tanking, no, but I mean, you say tanking, but then the question is, do you keep around Drummond? Do you keep around Blake Griffin just so you can say, because you're paying them a bunch of money? And then you have the opportunity to develop some of these younger players. Like they got was it Jackson used to play for Phoenix, guys like that. Other guys that are playing, they picked up. I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to pick up the player from Denver as well, and they're kind of meshing. So tanking is. There's some people just tank just be regardless. I think they're just like cutting their losses on a lot of stuff. Now, what they do moving on is a totally different thing from now on. But I think they just like, hey, why keep paying these dudes? Why keeping them on the squad and they don't want to play? We got young guys doing the same thing, they can play as well. And to me, if you say that, then hell, you might as well say Houston. I think
Houston's just bad.
yeah,
It's bad.
but I mean, they're playing and they're trying to do some things, but they made a huge mistake when they made some offseason moves and it didn't work, and they was just like, okay, whoever want to play, come on with it. But and they lost 20 straight games. But anyway, that's for another day. In regards to the standings and this playing game, I'm excited. I really am because look like those Lakers they only one game out from that sixth spot, but I don't think they're gonna make it up. But they're gonna be seventh, and then that means they'll probably either play Golden State or Memphis, who are separated by I think it's half a game. But regardless of the fact that they have to play in that game, and now I'm hearing in other sources, people are saying that, well, it's not really serious now that the Lakers know they can just not play hard and they come in and win it all. I was like, so y'all think the Lakers gonna win it all? I'm waiting on this because there are several people that I talk to, and my family included, some of them that just think the Lakers just gonna wake up one day and win the whole thing. I don't believe that one. I don't think the league is like that. I think it's some teams that are better than them, and I think with them losing cats like Rondo and some other folks, some changes. And I don't think the Lakers are as great as people may think this year, and I don't think they're as hungry. So I'm waiting to see that. Looking for these playing games. Also, too, when I look at the East, Boston is really hurting, man. You lost Jaylen Brown, done for the rest of the year. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. Charlotte is in eighth, Indiana is ninth, so they might end up playing Washington, who might be 10th. But without Bradley Beal, as you mentioned, it's gonna be very difficult unless your buddy Westbrook goes off and averages about 49 a game for each game in the playoffs. But they I'll say this, get off of this real quick. I'm interested to see what both so far the number one seeds are going to do in each division. And what I'm saying by that is Utah in the West, and then also Philadelphia in the East. Usually when you win and you get that top seed and you have home court advantage, you kind of say, yeah, that's that team. Like they've been trying to pump up Milwaukee for years. But I want to see both of them. This might be both times where both team number one seeds maybe going home somewhat early, which I like the whole mix of that because with the playing games, like, okay, you play the Lakers, and I'm going to bet my brother. I said the Lakers and Golden State, depends on what's going on. I said, you give me a few points and Steph Curry's on, I want to see that game. I want to see that game. And I definitely want to see the Lakers, if they do win out and who they would have to play. Like I told my brother, if they finish with the seventh seed, that means they will play Phoenix. I want to see that. Yes. So it's a lot of stuff going on. I'm excited about it. I love the playing game. People are mad. Why are the great Lakers have to play in the playing game? Because they ain't play hard and do the regular season.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's not a good thing if you're a Laker fan. But Black, I've been saying this all season. I don't think Philly is going to be the number one seed. I know it's going down the wire. I really don't think Philly is going to be the number one seed. I think Brooklyn may just snatch that right at the last minute. Your eye test, sir.
Well, just to piggyback on your point, even if they are, they're not going anywhere. I just spoke of the number one seed. If there were one seed that might be going down, I think that's going to happen. I think one of these number one seeds are going to go down. I want to say this first about the NBA. I love to play it. I think it excites the fans. It excites the end of the season because now you can't just go take them high, go high at the end of the season and rest. They found a way, but I know they won't do this. But one thing one more step they need to take. Once you do the play-in, you go to the first round, make it the best out of 5 series. Shrink it down, make it the best out of 5 series, make it tighter, and make the other 2 playoff series 7 games. You don't need 7 games for the first series, bro. We just don't. Make it best out of 5. Then you make it a little more competitive and tighten the squeeze up. I want to say the same thing about the Lakers that, I don't think they're going to make it. But I'm going to tell you something, man. I just don't see the team in the West. I just don't, as I look around, I watch, I don't know. I mean, I look at Portland. I don't know. I don't trust Utah. I just don't. I watched them the other night. I just don't trust Utah. If it's not Denver, I don't know. I just don't know who's going to really come back and squash the Lakers and can beat them 4 straight games. That's the question mark right there. Who in the West that can do it? And I'm hoping somebody does, because I don't want to see them back in there. But I got a funny feeling they might make it to the finals. I just got a funny feeling. I definitely don't trust the Phoenix Suns. I know Monty Williams has done a hell of a job, but I don't trust them kind of basically beating the Lakers for 7 games, or if we get to the point where they make it to the conference finals. I think they might be one of the first teams that go down in an 8-game series. I love the fact, too, the play-in that Golden State and the Lakers are there. I think that's one of the best things that the play-in's going to have, that you got Golden State and the Lakers, even though they don't want to be there. The Lakers don't want to be there, but that's must-see television right there, baby. That is must-see television to start the playoffs on a nice high note. So how can you argue with that? I'm going to say this, man. For the past couple of weeks, around this neck of the woods, you haven't been seeing nothing but Knicks hats, sweatshirts. I don't know if the Knicks are back.
I admit, I was going to wear something with the Knicks on it tonight, but I held up.
I'm just saying that, yeah, you got to kind of give them their just due, man, because it's been a long time. And I was telling the cat the other day, I haven't watched Knicks about 6 years. I've watched them some this season, so that says a lot. I don't know if they're going to do in the playoffs. I think Atlanta Hawks is a team to keep an eye on. I think they're going to make some noise in the playoffs. It just, to me, that coach has them playing above themselves, man. And that point guard, a couple of years ago, we didn't kind of know what he was going to do in the league. Please, under this head coach, that point guard is balling, baby, balling. So I want to see what the Hawks do. I think the Nets are basically right where they want to be. Some of the players are going to start to come back. And I think they have the best shot right now of winning all. I'm just going to say, and that's not because of Kyrie. It's not because of Harden, not because of Durant. I think these other cats know their roles. They play so much without them. They're prepared to play when they need to play, and that's going to be the difference. They're role players. Another thing that I said I'm going to piggyback on as well, too, the Lakers aren't the same team they were last year. They let a lot of good players go. They're not the same team. They're not that deep. So it's going to be interesting to see. Kuzma has to come in and play very strong, very hard, and he's not consistent, so I don't think it's going to happen. Quietly, man, I think Milwaukee, this is a make or break year for them, especially a head coach. You can't come in this year and basically kind of walter out. You just got to find a way to get it done. That team is too talented. The player is too talented. You got to go in there and make some noise, and I think they should make it to the finals, but I don't think they will. I think New Jersey will. It's going to be a good playoff series. I must admit that I'm more excited to watch this than I was excited to watch NBA basketball last season in the playoffs, man. I'm ready for it to get started, get it going. I'm just hoping that it's competitive because it seems coming down the stretch, it seemed to have some competitiveness to it. Breaking into the playoffs every single night, throw the ball up, let's get it started.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Let's go to the Hall of Fame. They're going to be doing that on this weekend. Congratulations to Mike Wilbon, who gets in the Hall of Fame as a journalist. Always loved his work and always love to see him and Tony go at it. And PTI, one of the stories that Rachel, I think I forget her name, Rachel
Nichols,
mm-hmm. Said that she used to work for the Washington Post, and I was watching it today, and she used to have a cubicle in between Wilbon's office and Tony's office, and they would always keep their door open, and they would be yelling at each other back through the offices. And when they got a show, she was like, this is just like the office, being in the office at the Washington Post, them yelling and arguing back and forth. The Hall of Fame, Ice, you have what I call the big three going in the Hall of Fame, and well-deserved. I know it's going to be emotional with Kobe Bryant being in. I heard his wife is going to do his induction speech. So give me your thoughts about the Hall of Famers going in the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, well, anybody that makes it, you want to give them kudos, but you definitely don't want to take away from what they've done. Even though you might have an idea as to, well, I thought maybe this guy, does he really deserve to go in? I don't think that's the case usually right now in this particular class because they had to wait So Kobe Bryant, everybody's gonna get emotional about that. A great player, definitely deserves it. More so for his family. I think that's gonna be the beautiful thing because people gonna recognize again what kind of player he was. Then I'm gonna go with two of my favorite big men of all time, Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett. I love them. I tell people all the time, you want to see real fundamentally sound basketball, and you can watch have big men watch it. Big men having fun playing the game as well. Years ago, the two of them played on a World University Games team, and it was like poetry in motion. Well, you have a 7 foot center, you got 6'11" forward going to the rack like they're gonna dunk it, and then they just lay it out to the other dude and let him slam it. It was like, man, you could not get in. These guys complement each other so well. I would have paid a lot of money to watch them play together on a team because they were so unselfish. They understood the game. They did what they had to do, and they were grinders. They were all pros and whatnot, and considered some of the best during their time, but they were grinders. And I think that's what's missing in basketball. You got a couple guys that grind, but not like that. And maybe that's why that shows that I'm getting older by watching them working out the way that they did. They put much work in. Rudy Tomjanovich, man. Rudy was a decent basketball player, but he also was a hell of a coach. I like Rudy Tomjanovich, and I like him more than anything because he's a tough dude. It's not we just don't remember him from when he got sucker punched by Kermit Washington back in the day. Got laid out. Dude still was coming back. So I love Rudy Tomjanovich. I think he's worthy of being in the hall on both levels. And he's just a tough dude. He kind of represents what the NBA was all about. And I could go on and on, but I'm going to also throw one last flower, if you will, at Tamika Catchings. She is the epitome of basketball. Her dad, Harvey Catchings was mean and bad as hell. She came in with the same spirit, same fire, and got it done. When you saw her, you just knew it. Like you did not want to go in the paint with her. She spin back, go the other way, shoot a fadeaway jumper on you. She was just nasty, and she was a baller. And she's probably one of the best I've seen. We always hear about Cheryl Miller, and we hear about the others as well. But just straight consistency. Her, Yolanda Griffiths of the world, they were ballers. They came in every night, put their work in, put their hard hat on and go to work. I love Tamika Catchings, and she's very intelligent and also somebody that's moving forward and doing some things in the front office as well. She's a true tough ball player and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Great stuff. Black, the Hall of Famers, this class, your words, sir.
It's funny. I don't have much to add to what Ice basically said already, man. I'm waiting for Tina. I can't think of her last name. Just wait for the comments for her to go on, bro. I might go to that one, man. I might go outside, just kind of watch her walk in.
So you're giving up Maya and Candace, and now it's Tina.
That when WNBA started with those big red lips, come on, man. What are you talking about?
So you probably didn't hear. You probably didn't hear me. You're giving up Maya, Candace, and now it's Tina.
See, the problem with you, nobody said giving up. Nobody said giving up, my brother. You can't even talk about Maya.
Stand corrected. I stand.
Maya is disrespectful to talk about Maya at this point. I'll leave that alone. But I will say this though, man. Like I said, I don't want to say too much and kind of repeat some of the things I said, but I think the NBA need to find a way to sell this better, bro, because you don't hear nothing about it. It's nothing being said. And these players, especially around the players going in, it needs to stand out and be a focal point. But when you throw it in during the season, like they're throwing it in, no. I mean, they got to learn something from the NFL. I mean, I said this a couple of weeks ago. The NFL had 31 million people watch the draft. Think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
We were 31 million people watch people read their name off a card and watch cats go crazy. You got to find a way to market and boost the Hall of Fame for the NBA because like nobody really cares. And it shouldn't be that way. But it shouldn't be during the season either. Find a way to take it out of the season and make it happen. Same thing with NBA TV. It looks like a piece of garbage sometimes, bro. They got to spend some money on marketing and do some things. And I'm not saying going to catch up with the NFL, but I'll be honest with you. Until you said the Hall of Fame, I forgot it was happening.
Yeah.
I forgot. I knew the players that they chose. It was like, okay, nothing. Even when you're watching the games, they're not talking about, they're not promoting. What's going on? You know what I mean? It's up here in lonely Springfield, Mass. And I tell you, not too far from Springfield, there's nothing up there. Nothing, bro. When I said it's set aside by itself, get it out of there. Put it in the area that people want to go to, they want to visit. There's other things to do. I'm not saying necessarily Las Vegas, but you gotta put it in a place where people be happy to come see it. Realistically, if you're gonna do it right and stop half-assing it. Because to me, that's what they're doing at the NBA Hall of Fame. They're half-assing it. And these players that go in, not all of them, at least this class deserve better. Tina, we're waiting on you, baby.
Yeah, I always thought they should do a real big show and to reintroduce the Hall of Famers to the public, because some of these folks who are living now never really kind of were around when these players did and the coaches did, and you know, all these different athletes were doing their thing, and so to reintroduce them. And I know the NFL kind of does that. I think the best when, you know, they get inductees to the Hall of Fame. They got stories on the NFL Network. They got whole specials on them, interviewing family, old tape, things of that sort. So I think the NBA can take a page out of that. Let's go right into NFL news. The schedule came out. I was checking out some of the shows, and that's one of the things that the NFL did. They did a whole show, different networks did a whole show on scheduling. They're talking about the games, that's getting your juices flowing for the NFL season. And then if Tim Tebow is quarterback no talent number one, Blake Bortles, who just signed with the Packers, is quarterback no talent number two. So I'll let you both take the stories. I'll go with Ike first. The NFL schedules, what are standing out to you? And then Blake Bortles signing with the Packers. And I said this to Black privately with the Aaron Rodgers Packers situation. Aaron Rodgers is not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. He'll be playing in the Packers uniform. Relax. Ice?
Yeah, well, I mean, but you got to cover yourself. Blake Bortles is there, one, but Blake Bortles is Blake Bortles. Everybody knows what he is. Nobody says he's gonna come over and take over and be the next Aaron Rodgers and take them to the championship game. But you got to cover yourself. You got to have somebody that could put a uniform on, throw some interceptions, throw some passes. Somebody that at least knows that they know they can make the correct cadence and play. Blake Bortles can do that. But as you said, and if the point of it is, and not to put too much pressure on this young man, but if Jordan Love was ready and he was all everybody said he is right now, would you go get Blake Bortles? Particularly with this whole Aaron Rodgers mess, as you mentioned, he's not going anywhere. But if let's say he was, so that tells me something there too. But no pressure to be put on Jordan Love. It's just what it is. But when I look at the Hall of Fame, when I'm not the Hall of Fame, so when I look at the schedules, somebody once said in one of those shows, I think it was That's My Mama, Pittsburgh, you in trouble. When you look at their schedule, man, it's like Buffalo, Green Bay, Seattle, the Titans, and the Chiefs. All I know is this: y'all say what you want to about Big Ben coming back, but man, Dwayne Haskins better be improving like light years from now. Because if Big Ben gets in trouble and he starts to show that he's older, somebody's going to run to the rescue. And I hope they just kind of, playing possum and Dwayne Haskins and they're proving and they're seeing something that nobody else has seen. They've been able to motivate him because with this schedule, it's going to be dangerous. The other schedule I look at may be a little difficult too is Baltimore with the Dolphins, Steelers, Browns, and moving forward with there. And Indianapolis. So when you look at them having a brand new quarterback coming in, Carson Wentz coming over, they play Seattle, they play the Rams, play the Titans, play the Dolphins, play the Ravens, and they play Tampa. So Indianapolis is going to have to come with it. When I look at the easier schedules, I'm looking at Dallas. The top teams they play are Tampa, Minnesota, and KC. They get by that, and then they're just playing division teams. They go from there. Miami has a kind of, I wouldn't say light schedule, but it's not as difficult as most would think. Besides the end of division, they play Tampa, they play Baltimore, they play Tennessee. And Tampa is, kind of going to be coasting too because they have Miami and Buffalo. So, I mean, people say that doesn't really matter, but when you don't play teams that have significant wins or won a lot of games previously before or made some major off-season acquisitions, then that allows you to kind of not have to be great all the time, which means you can adjust according to because of injuries or whatever it may be. You can win games just because. So it's going to be interesting. I always like to see the schedule coming out, but it's coming down to that point, and before you blink your eyes two times, football be back. It's like, damn, can we get our summer first? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm loving the summer. I don't want the summer to go that quick, but football will be here in a minute.
yeah. I'm always looking at the schedule, and I always kind of sense that if you had a great record last year, you get the hardest schedule the following year. And if you have you had a losing record the previous season, you get a easier schedule. I see a lot of teams going to London to play, so I guess those trips are back. And so it's really kind of hard to kind of for me to kind of forecast Black who's going to be good this year in the tough games and who's going to come out and play, who's going to be on the team, all the different circumstances, who gets the bye week, how will that affect them? What kind of stood out to you with the schedules coming out? And then Blake Bortles. I know you got a lot to say about Blake Bortles.
I'll start with Blake. I don't know what Green Bay is doing, bro. That if you drafted Jordan, just let him play. Let him play. Let him play. Blake Bortles is not a person to put it in front of him and let him play. I'm sorry, bro. You just can't do it. If you draft him that high, you went to go get him. You believe in him. Let him play. Like you, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going anywhere. I think Aaron Rodgers is doing a great job of manipulating the media, bro. Awesome job. Adam Schefter looked like a clown. Mm-hmm. He made him look like a clown. I think he's doing a great job. He's a diva. He's manipulating the media, but he'll be there when the season starts. But they have a tough record. I mean, tough schedule this year. Very tough. Kansas is another thing. I'm just going to throw this out there, man, because I remember years ago, and it's always been this way, and I thought it was the Patriots. But you ever notice Tom Brady team always have one of the easiest schedules to make it to the playoffs? And if you look at Tampa Bay this year.
What's the division they play in?
No, but if you look at even Tampa Bay, I saw this morning, I was watching the show this morning, they put up their schedule up against Kansas City. Kansas City has the 8th hardest schedule. Tampa Bay's schedule is easy. It seemed like to me, and I could be wrong, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist like you are. I'm not even thinking about this. I'm not. But it seemed like they're always giving Tom Brady edge when it comes down to the season. You would have, if you go back and watch the Patriots year after year after year, and you watch these shows, I mean, how many times they made it to the Super Bowl, whatever, they would come back and have like the second easiest schedule. How does that keep happening, bro? How? So I look at this schedule, Tom, this year and go, wait a minute. Now they found the Tampa Bay, they're doing the same thing. It's almost like they want him somewhere around, bro. And when I think of the money that's involved, come on, who knows? Who knows? I mean, it's just, I find it amusing. I find it amusing that you can come off this Super Bowl, come on, and win. And like I said, Pittsburgh barely got in the playoffs last year. And they got a dogfight to make it. Green Bay, they beat Green Bay. Green Bay's schedule is harder. How do they come off and get a soft schedule? Oh, I don't understand. Tom was what, 43, 44? They don't want to play that hard throughout the year. I get it. I get it. I understand. And they made sure that he was going back to Foxborough this year, bro, early in the season. Oh, come on. That was put together last year. They just didn't put that in the bowl this year. That was put together last year. He will go back and play if he's playing. Come on, man. There was guys that worked there, so I can't wait for him to come back and play Belichick. They can't wait. He's going to try to run up. Belichick's going to try to slam him down on the ground. So we'll be good to watch. It'll be good to watch, man. Because they know each other. They know each other quite well. That's going to be real interesting. But to me, when it's all said and done, that's the mystery of this right here. How's Tampa Bay have such a light schedule? Someone explain that to me.
Because I always thought if you won the Super Bowl, you had a great record, you get the hardest schedule. And that's why it's always hard for teams to return back to the Super Bowl because they get a rough schedule the following year. The teams that have a losing record always gets the easier schedule to kind of build more parity in the league. That's why I always kind of figured it out why they're playing kind of, because it was one year where the Bears had an easy schedule. They went like 12-4. And then we had people here after the season was over, oh, we're going back to the Super Bowl. I said, no, you have a 12-4 record. The schedule is going to be tougher. So you may not make the playoffs the following year, and they did. All right, so I don't know. You know me and conspiracy theories. I'm gonna run with that one because I thought about that a long time ago, but I'm like, okay, maybe they're in a weak division because you play Miami twice, the Jets twice, and Buffalo twice. That's that's a bunch of wins already. And then the AFC, there was no team challenging on New England. So the teams that they played in the NFC, hit or miss. They usually play the busters in the NFC. So you put something on my mind, Black. You put something on my mind. All right, you coming around. You coming around. The Major League Baseball report with Ice Water. Give us what you got, sir.
Yep, real quick, just gonna look at these standings. American League East, Boston is leading, which is a little bit surprising. But Toronto and New York kind of are only one game behind them. Ironically, though, bizarre, man. Yankees have had what 8 COVID cases,
Yeah.
still winning baseball games. Yankees something else, man. They always find a way to keep people around just in case of emergency, like break that glass. They got emergencies and they come up, keep moving along. In the Central, the White Sox are in first place.
Yep.
Chicago White Sox are in first place. I was in Chicago this morning, boom. I almost texted you. Anyway, that's for another day. But
Hey, you don't come through here and don't see your boy.
hey, you know how your sleep pattern is, bro. I didn't know if I was waking you or you was going to sleep or you was waking up. That's why I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone on my journey back. Cleveland's in second place. They're a game and a half out in the Central. In the West, Oakland is leading in the American League West, along with Houston in second place. Moving over to the NL East, the Mets, despite all of the chaos and drama that's going on over there, are still in first place. Philadelphia is in second place, playing some pretty good baseball right now. They can just keep it up. I think some of their veterans will carry them through. In the Central, St. Louis is in first place. That's an intriguing situation over there. But that division is up and down so much because of a lot of teams are playing close to 500 baseball. You don't know who the hell's gonna come out of there. And as we move over into the West, I'm sorry, we move over to the West. San Francisco is in first place in the National League, and followed by San Diego. And the Dodgers are in third place, but that's what they do. I mean, the Dodgers and the Yankees. I'm telling you, I had no problem with this when I was younger because you thought the best teams would win, right? But now the Dodgers and the Yankees just spend all this money, and you had to talk about them all year long, and then they kind of wait third, fourth place, and then they make a run. And then everybody want to talk about how great a year it was because they came back out of nowhere. Hell, you got the best players on. You got 19 All-Stars on the field at the same time. It's like, damn, you should win some games. But that's how it is. But it's going to be picking up a little bit. But it's interesting because, again, like I said, I'm about the players. What I'm trying to find out is what's going on with San Diego. So San Diego with Tatis Jr. Had an injury, right? Had some issues, then he came right back. Then turned around, he got COVID. I'm like, damn, dog. I mean, can you just stay healthy? Quit running the streets or whatever the hell you doing anyway, allegedly. But I mean, he's got catching everything and still playing great baseball. I guess you can do that when you're young, huh? You just run and chase whatever you're gonna do and just be carefree. But it's always something with that cat. I'm like, man, you just played straight baseball. Hell, he might be one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I mean, he's the toast of the town now. And McCutcheon from the Phillies, I just saw him and Harper with a double steal. He's been playing really well and talking a lot of trash, watching that series between Philly and Atlanta. And so McCutcheon has bounced around a lot of places. He seemed to have found a home in Philadelphia. They had him mic'd up, and he's pretty hilarious mic'd up. Black, I know we'll get to the WNBA pretty soon. They're playing their preseason. One of my boys told me he got to see Candace playing in a preseason game, and boy, my eyes were just fuming at. I could have saw through them, jealous. But he said that they have a chance to be a good team, and that he's thinking about going back and seeing them, and I'm thinking about going right with him and seeing them.
I might be coming to Chicago soon, baby.
Why are you mad, son?
I might be coming to Chicago soon. That's why I'm mad. Really why I'm mad right there. I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad, and it revolves around one knucklehead, man. That he's being a knucklehead, and nobody's really giving him the knucklehead name. One Brett Favre.
Hmm.
He cheated Mississippi, I think $600,000. He was supposed to speak, didn't speak, but got paid. Won't give the money back. They've been begging for the money back. Won't give it back. And after what happened with the George Floyd case, he came out and basically said he don't think the officer was trying to kill him. So my point is, we need to call this redneck who he is. Stop acting like Brett Favre is something stupid. I mean, something special because he's never been. He's dumb as a fox, and I'm just tired of people acting like he's something great when he's not. But I find it hard to believe he's doing some dumb things, and everybody's kind of just casting over it. And if he was a different shade, a different tone, you hear more about it, and there'd be more talk going on. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't. Every time I hear a story about him, I don't even listen to it because it's not worth even listening to it or taking the time to listen to it. Ice.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit perturbed and bothered by the factor that our lovely fans, sports fans, some people just gonna, and I'm not talking about the fanatics, but certain fans, every time a story comes out or anything that's said or mentioned, is like, oh, did you hear what they said? I'm like, dude, use your brain. Just, I mean, you've been watching sports this long. You should know that some of the stuff that just, that is being said out in the media or so-called media with this reality TV phase we're in is just noise. It's noise, and every time we turn around, instead of really getting quality stories, and I know I've been harping on this for a while, but I'm just amazed how people just buy into these things. And I know one of my friends turned me on to I know you're gonna say it, laugh, but a boxing type of little network, like a connection of people, and to listen to what these people are saying is like, and reading what they're saying is like, some people should not just have a voice. And he's like, well, no, it's really a good site. I said, for who? It's just two people, just a couple people just running their mouths, something to say, and it makes no sense whatsoever. So he's like, well, we'll get some good tips off of that for a show we're doing. I was like, no, the hell we want, because I'm not saying one damn word about anything. I just read it and shake my head going, they don't even deserve me saying anything, because you're not even ready to appreciate what the hell I would have to say, especially when you say things that make no sense whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are too smart for this. Use your brain, or maybe you just like getting duped every damn day with the same old BS.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I got out the business. Anyway.
This is why I'm mad. Last week was a boxing match, and I did not watch because I'm banning a certain boxer. I would not even mention his name, but his fans are so in denial about this dude and how great this dude is, and will not look at the fact that this guy is fighting tomato cans all over the place. But they're so disillusioned. I don't know if they're drinking. I don't know. I don't know. But I did not watch for the first time in a long time a fight on a Saturday because I did not want to waste my time. I didn't even watch the YouTube video. Didn't want to know who won, whatever. Because we're getting ready to go into boxing soon. If you want to talk about it, you can talk about it. But I think the Alvarez fans are some of the most disillusioned fans that are out there. That you think this guy's a great fighter, all the tomato cans he's been fighting for the last 2 years, and then wanting to fight Golovkin for a third time. Out of here, man. So you got Tyson Fury. This is gonna make us mad if it doesn't happen in August. And Anderson Silva said he may be done. And then they have a Mike Tyson documentary coming up in 2 weeks. Well, I'm always interested in watching Mike Tyson in a documentary because Mike Tyson is, to me, a kind of a magnet. He just gains my attention somehow. But Ice, I'm gonna let you take the floor here in boxing and UFC. Also, folks, there is UFC 262. So if your kind of palate was kind of spoiled last week because of boxing, you got UFC this week again. Ice.
I don't know. All I know is when I hear these different things about just boxing and entertainment and UFC, it's just like I'm so flabbergasted by it. And you mentioned about, you want to say his name? I will. Canelo. One thing I will say, Canelo's a smart and shrewd businessman. Wonder where he got that at. That crazy dude nobody likes called Floyd Mayweather know how to make money. I'll say this too. I'm just gonna talk about boxing in general. These dudes know that people, again, coming back, piggyback on what I said earlier from why I was mad, is sports fans now, particularly in boxing and in these sports, they're gullible as hell. I watched that Floyd Mayweather, the Paul brothers fiasco or whatever, and how the one brother that he's not even fighting came out and he got beat up and got punched in the nose, about to broke his nose. When I watched that, I said, you know what? You can say what the hell you want to, but that damn Floyd Mayweather and his people know what the hell they doing. They know how to get you hyped up 4 weeks out from the fight. So they had the one brother that's not even fighting coming out, going after him. Now Floyd's gonna fight the other brother. And then you think, ironically, it's ironic that he's gonna fight the other brother, back that up and make that money. Man, y'all, dude, hey, if you love it, if you like it, I love it. But I'll be damned if I pay $2 to watch that stuff. They setting you up. He know it, man. He talking about, he said, did you hear what he said? I kill you, motherfucker. Okay, that's Floyd. All that money out there, he ain't fighting no damn body. That's why I'm like, it's like, what? It's like, okay, who's up next? Who's up next? Thank goodness UFC gave us a real card the other week, 261. But I'm going to be very careful in what I watch from now on. I didn't watch the Canelo fight either. I saw the little stuff, and it's like, until he fights somebody,
Yep.
which may never happen. And now Triple G gonna be 46 down there. And Triple G's gonna do it because he wants the money. His last shot, maybe, and making some real money.
Elderly abuse. Well, I wouldn't put it down because Triple G beat him last 2 times. So
yeah, but I mean, I'm with you, but you know, it's like Pacquiao and Marquez. Triple G's never gonna earn a decision against Canelo. Everybody and their mama knows he's going to knock Canelo out. But can he do it? Because he's about 100 years old now. It goes on and on and on and on. I'd rather watch this.
Let's bring in the voice of reason with boxing UFC, Black Thor. He's like the parent when it comes to this.
I like the subject. I think one thing too we got to realize, man, it's like music. It's like music that we grew up listening to, and the music game has changed drastically. And we keep wanting the music that we grew up, what we like, the sound we like, and it's gone. Mm-hmm. And I think boxing fans now, the younger fans, boxing, even if Floyd Mayweather fighting, a peach or whatever, a plum, it's an event to them. It's a chance to get together with friends, socialize, drink, eat. And I think they're more into that now than what's going on in the ring and what's happening. And that's what these promoters are capitalizing on. These younger folks now, they're not into who wins, who loses, whatever. They want to get together with their friends, hang out. A lot of these cats, if they're young and they're married, it's a way to get from the wives, go hang out from the wives, spend time away from the family. So it's become an event, a luxury event for them in a lot of cases, man. So I think that's what's driving it. Where we look at it and we want the expertise of boxing. We want to see, what's going on. These other cats, man, the generations behind us, they're not into all that. They want to get together, drink their Modelo, their Coronas, whatever they're drinking, have a good time, eat some wings, laugh, joke, go home. Everything is cool. They can care less. And that's why the money's there. In my opinion, that's what promoters taking advantage of. And at the end of the day, I can't really blame them because boxing has been so damaging to so many people in the past. These fighters now don't want none of that. Canelo don't want to walk around with concussions. He don't want it. They don't seen the Muhammad Ali stories. They seen those other stories, man. They don't want none of that. They want their money, and the people that they're playing, they're fighting. They just want their share. They can go home. They don't care about being the champ. They don't have. That's not their desire. They don't burn for that. I will say this, man. I heard about the Mike Tyson documentary coming up. Now, I'm not gonna say I like Mike just as much as anybody else, but I kind of respect what he did when he was out there. But at what point we get tired of seeing that train wreck, bro? I mean, because we all live with Mike Tyson, and it's like, what don't we know about Mike Tyson?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, how many times you want to see that story? Him walking around, he lost his money. It's like, damn, bro. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's like they just serving it up in a different way, putting more paprika on and giving it to you, bro.
You said paprika.
Yes. Little garlic here. That's all it
is, bro. Touche. Oh man! Speaking of rap, I was listening to rap, and I was going to say this question from when Black Men Talk. I'll put it out here. You don't have to answer it. But is this rap that they're playing today? Is it actually making people dumber? Because I tried to listen to it one day, and I swear I was getting a little dumber. when I was listening to it because I could not understand the words. I'm like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not smart enough to listen to this, or maybe I'm too smart. Just rhetorical question.
I'm gonna throw something out real quick, man. I might bring it to the show too, but I know you gentlemen are rappers, but I mean into the rappers. But there's a station up here in Connecticut, in Hartford, and I was punching through my radio in the truck the other day, and it kind of bounces into it. And they were playing Jay-Z. Actually, I was playing Biggie Smalls. And then a slide to Jay-Z. And they did this 20 times of different songs.
That he
And
bit.
Jay-Z bought off Biggie so much.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
And I've never, I mean, I'm not into
MCs. He bit off a lot of MCs. Yeah.
Yes. Not only you're right, because they went on the Slick Rick, a bunch of others, and they would play that version first and show you Jay-Z basically took it word for word. He might have threw his name in there, changed one word, the exact same phrase. And every time they would do it, they said, I'm not a writer, I'm just a biter. Yeah. That's what I'm calling Jay-Z. And it's amazing to think that the amount of money he made and respect that he has, he stole from his own, bro.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted before Fela Kuti. Before Fela Kuti. And I thought that was an insult. Carole King, there's some other folks who got in. I'm like, what took them so long? But he gets in and he bit off a lot of
it. I mean, it was graphic when they would play Biggie. I mean, word for word. He didn't change a vowel. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. I mean, it was like 30 of them. Bang, bang, bang.
Yep. Based his whole career off it. What's your question, Ice?
My question is, how come you didn't ask me about the rap? How come I didn't get a turn to talk about rap?
Go ahead, get your turn, bro.
I'm like, damn, man, you know what I do anyway. But just real quick, I mean, I think that when you mentioned about Jay-Z, I think the whole thing, we talked about it before, you and I had a very serious discussion when I asked you about these albums that he was named. People talking about how great his Black album was and those other stuff. And I said, for his generation, that's cool. But when you say like the greatest of all time, and I'm sitting there going like,
nope.
Come on, bro. I mean, there's certain ones, Jigga. I mean, he has some moments, but I don't go, oh, you remember that one time but it's just, I don't get it. And that lets me know I'm getting older, but I just don't understand how he's received so as this great rapper. I see him as a great person, as able, as you said, able to finagle his way through some things and survive and make new things for this new group of people. And he made a lot of money. So I guess that puts you up as the greatest of all time anyway. I understand. That's another story. But my question is, I want to know what you gentlemen think about the factor when we think about college basketball. I know it's passed us by men's college basketball, but the factor that we had some movement. So Texas picks up Chris Bird. He leaves Texas Tech and goes home to Texas. And now they're sitting on the forefront of grabbing all these transfer players that are coming out the portal that have really moved up, and they have one of the top recruiting classes coming out of the portal. And then lo and behold, your team you love to hate, Kentucky, is like, hey, here we are. Come on, welcome to Lexington. They did the same thing in the portal. So they have a lot of guys that are transferring in. And last but not least, I'll say this in that regard too, in regards to recruiting. What Juwan Howard's doing over there in Michigan, like trying to come across with the #1 class of all the college basketball in a couple of short years. I know that's a lot, but just throwing it out there for your thoughts.
What?
I find it interesting that the coach for Texas leave and that the transfer portal is on fire. That's interesting, brother. It says a lot. I know they brought a different coach in, but I find that real interesting, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Shaka, but for some reason, bro, I don't think he can recruit. I just don't. They don't seem to follow him. They don't seem to gravitate to him. So I find that very surprising, very interesting. I mean, what is Texas doing different now than they did the last 3-4 years? Nothing. You just bring a different head coach in that people have seen on the big stage, and he gets it done. And I wish Shaka the best at Marquette, but I don't know, bro. I just don't know. At some point, you got to get it done. Even if you don't win, you got to make it to the big stage and make yourself apparent. And it's just here again. Texas hasn't done nothing in the past couple of months other than basically move to a new head coach.
Yeah, I've seen the portal kind of fill up, and you see the stories come up every now and then on who's transferring. And some of these bigger schools, especially Kentucky, they're just reloading. They're just reloading. And Calipari has found another way to keep Texas relevant and to keep Texas in the top 10, because it used to be the first one and done. Now I'm going after players on other teams that I really like, that I'm giving you opportunity. I didn't get you on the first round, but I can get you on the second round. So a lot of these, I think these athletes are weighing their options. I think it's great that if it's not working out in one particular location, you can go somewhere else, just like the coaches. But I think this is going to be the trend for a while, where players from mid-majors and players from other big-time programs who are not happy where they are going to be transferring and going to these schools where they know they can get television time. They know they can get a better draft pick, become a better draft pick in the end. And I just see, if Kentucky's doing it, watch out for Duke. Duke's going to be doing it too. And I bet some players that have transferred or want to transfer. But I think they're going to be, I think when they transfer, I think these coaches are going to try to keep them a little bit longer than 1 year to play in those programs, because they really kind of lost a lot with doing the one and done. I think that's caught up with them. But it's just interesting to see how these players are not. It was almost like they're free agents. They play for 1 year and they're only signed for 1 year. They're like indentured service. They're only signed for 1 year. So if the coach is not happy or they're not happy with the coach, then they can weigh their options, which I think is great. Ice?
Yeah, I mean, just watching it, because you mentioned about Shaka Smart. I think Shaka Smart, he saw the opportunity to make a lot of money and really have a chance to play, actually be in charge of a larger program. And he took his shot. Didn't really work for him. So then he kind of, went down another level, went to a smaller school in Marquette, who loves him because that's where he's from, right? And then everybody was talking about, well, what's Texas going to do? Texas knew that Chris Bird, for as much Chris Beard, for as much as he did well at Texas Tech, loved to have the Texas job. And before he could even get done with his loss in the tournament, hell, they had him flying on a plane to coming down to Austin to get that job, because they knew how much he wanted that job, and he's taking full advantage of it. And Calipari is Calipari. Calipari, as you mentioned, said, "Look, if you come and play for me, I can get you the league, get you to the league.
Yeah,
I can get you to be seen and everything. Now, I can't play for you, but if you don't have to worry about being seen. And if we win some ball games, you'll be right in the mix, and I'll pump the hell out of you. So pump you up all day long instead of like the freshman." So he's going to buy it that way. So just the way it's being done, you got to find what your niche is. I think you mentioned about Shaka Smart. He had to find what his niche is. He will try to play with the big boys in the big leagues. Now you go, but go back down to Double A. That's where he's most comfortable. And if he can get down that round and win some things, pull off some Loyola Chicago Houdini tricks, and they win a lot more games and make it maybe past the first weekend, he good to go for the next 10 until he retire. Not have to worry about that like in Texas. So things are kind of working out. It's going to be interesting to see how it moves along. Hell, for that matter, in Calipari, he thought it was just done with the transfers. He went over there and grabbed 2 coaches from Illinois. Like,
yeah.
They did well. Watch this. What about next trick? Like, dang, gone.
Yeah,
Calipari's like, hey,
he snatched him quick.
Yeah, man.
It was right under the radar too. Yeah, except in Illinois. Black.
I still see. I can see the coach. I can't think of his name though. The Temple head coach trying to go after Calipari.
Yeah.
I can't get them.
Cheney.
I kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Poor John Cheney, bro. God bless him.
Hey, yes, bro. I can't get that out of my mind, man. I just can't. Every time Calipari appear, I think of that situation, man.
I'm gonna kill you. Rest in peace, brother.
He had his press.
Sir. You know, it's interesting. I know it's my question up, and my question will be basically, if you look at the ladies coaches in college basketball, they're moving around quite a bit too, because Baylor basically kind of said, her coach said, no, I'm getting out of here, and I kind of wonder why. But my actual question is, remember when the tournament was going on for college basketball and the women complained that their situation was totally different?
Yeah.
Have you anything about that since? Any changes or anything that's going to take place that has been? Because if it did, I missed it. I'm just curious if anything popped up.
Ice.
No, I've heard anything. I just know that the one of the ladies that was complaining jumped over and went to LSU. And she was like, I'm done here. I'm going to go over here and try something differently. Go home, which everybody's talking about how drama filled that was anyway. But it's interesting to see how those the coaches are not crazy either. They know when things are not working well for them. Because you saw what was it, the Atlanta Dreams coach ran over and took the Baylor job. She like, well, they had me tied, had my hands tied. I couldn't say too much about that with the dream. But now I'm gonna go over here where it's a little bit more safer to Baylor, but I can't be as outspoken. But the money's better, situation better. I at least got maybe 4 years. If something goes crazy, well, I'm guaranteed cash, even if I lose. Because everybody does not believe I have to be as good as the lady that preceded me. So hey, and nobody knows what the hell's gonna happen with WNBA. Did I say that? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I'm just trying to be real.
Yeah. One of the things that they did do during the tournament, they did rectify the situation with the playing facilities and the training facilities in the bubble with the women's college game. They got put on blast, so they had to do something. So they upgraded that immediately. But I'm noticing coaches, men and women basketball, everybody is going home, going where they're from, and going to I guess a spot where they feel comfortable, or they feel like they're going to get the support from the public because they are known there. So that's what I kind of see, that there is such a thing as you can go home again, and some of these coaches are going back home, and once they get the opportunity. Black, your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't realize they made some changes. I know after that they didn't say too much about what's going on. Yeah, it does seem like that coaches are starting, women college basketball coaches are starting to move around a little bit. And I'm gonna say this about LSU, man. I know I spoke with a young lady that would play for LSU. We'll talk about this some on Sunday night. The new president of LSU is a brother.
Mm.
Think about that, man. Louisiana. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Louisiana is a young brother.
Whoa. I know that there is another story with the WNBA. They're going to start a tournament, a commissioners cup tournament.
Pay them.
Which I think is a great
pay them instead
opportunity to make the game more exciting, and then hopefully more money, because I like the tournament one and done kind of thing. So I know I'm gonna leave it to you to come up with that story when you start doing your WNBA report.
But let's just say this. Let me just say this right now. A-Rod is part of a group that's paying $1.6 billion to own the Timberwolves and the Minnesota Lynx.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you can't pay the Lynx more money?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Let's stop the charade. Let's just be honest. I really think this challenge thing, whatever they're talking about, is a way to keep them quiet because they don't want to give them the money, bro. I think it's another way to kind of blind their eyes to, like, if you win this, you win the money. No, pay them. Stop playing. Even McDonald's going up their rate they're paying their workers. Come on, pay them. Cut it off. Stop playing, man.
All right, give me another question, man. Yeah, I wanted to stop right there because that's funny as hell when you sit there going like that's like a throw-in bonus. You get your favorite meal and they throw at you actually like a pie or a sundae in there, something like that too. So my other question is, with all of these players being able to move around and things like that too, do you think the integrity in the hiring process, particularly in college sports, has gone down? Or do we see coaches differently now? What I mean by that is we've had some coaches that have been through some scandals, or they had some things that have followed them around, but it seems like nobody really cares anymore. It's kind of like, as long as you don't, mess around with little kids, or you don't, have affairs or something like that, then hell, if you did something else, you took a little money, did something like that, we'll hire you. We'll figure it out. That's what it seems like. I'm just.
Well, if you don't get caught and they don't find out before you get hired, Black, you go. I'll go later. You go with this one. Integrity.
College basketball ain't changed one bit, baby. It ain't changed. It's like it's it hasn't changed, and it won't probably change And we saw the feds try to come in and do the weak job. And I'm surprised. I'm really surprised because there's so much money in college basketball, man. It's just really this. I mean, college football is bigger, probably as a whole, but there's so much money in college basketball. And it's so much money that it lends itself down to the high school, trying to recruit these players. You got people, agents trying to get these players early so they have them. I mean, it's so much cash floating around, bro. And it's to where when you have a lot of money floating around, you're gonna have some stuff going on with it, bro. You're gonna have some stuff going on. I mean, there's a story I sent you two gentlemen earlier.
Yeah, about Ohio State.
About the masseuse Ohio State. It's like she didn't even want the money. She didn't want the money. Come on, man. This scandal, it's like every other week there's a college scandal. Just wait. Just wait. Wait about 2 weeks. I guarantee there'll be another college scandal pop up somewhere at some school you probably thought was on the up and up. It may be a small scandal or a big one, but it's just right, bro. It's just right. I mean, you were talking last week about Zion, his family getting fired. And in the scope of things, $5,000 is nothing to what these players are getting, bro. It's not. I mean, realistically. I mean, I remember years ago, I'll say this real quick and I get off this. I mean, I came back to Connecticut. I moved back to Connecticut and I sold cars for a month. There was a cat that came in there one day, this tall cat. He went to the boy or somewhere. Some school he went to was out in the cold area. He came in one day to test drive an SUV. He came back with his grandma. I said to myself, why is his grandma come with him? And this cat wasn't even good. He just had height. It wasn't his grandma. His grandma was fronting for the agent to get him the SUV. And here's a cat that didn't even make it close to the NBA. So I'm saying there's a lot of players that are getting taken care of that are not big names because there's so much money involved in college basketball. These universities are making so much money off college sports. The two sports, basketball and football, are running these universities, bro. I look at UConn up here. You know how much money the women's college basketball made for UConn? Man, I mean, it's unbelievable. So it's just, that's it. Whenever you have a lot of money, you're gonna have some problems.
Yeah, I don't think there's any integrity with these college sports and the millions that they're making, because you're right. It's a lot of money involved in it. And what can you do to help me win to make more money? When you sent us the story earlier about the Ohio State and the masseuse, and you text me what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't see a problem with this. She's being inappropriate. There are kids, so I'm thinking with my grown man mind, but college kids. So whatever it takes to win, they do it. And if they get caught, oh well, we won't do it again. We'll fire the person that did it or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So whatever it takes to win, they don't care. So it's no integrity when it comes to this. It's, what have you done for me lately? Can you put seats, butts in the seats? Can you make this university more money? And can we get on television and get the advertising money and all this other stuff? Screw integrity. Let's make the money. And the student athlete is the one that is getting screwed out of the whole process. Yes. And so, because they can't make any money. They get violated if they find them making any money or trying to get something to eat. So there's no integrity. There's no integrity whatsoever.
Real quick, if you don't mind, they banned this woman, right? They came down hard, bang. But she was doing this for 3 years, not trained, not licensed. For 3 years, she was getting away with. All of a sudden now she's banned. Seriously, 3 years, not 3 months, 3 years, 3 years.
Now it's out.
And now it's a problem. It's a problem now.
Yeah. Ice.
I mean, you look at it from a number of ways. I mean, what I found out ironic was you mentioned about the lady at Ohio State, the fact that it was a woman. It was like she's banned. She can no longer do this. It wasn't no thing. We're going to try to prosecute her. She got her license revoked supposedly, but she was offering additional services. But imagine if that was a man going after a woman's program.
Yeah.
You would never heard anything. You would heard it would still been going on, talking about how horrible, and no disrespect to the athletes because they deserve to be heard. But when they said it was a woman going after football players, it was kind of like, just make sure she stays 2.5 hours away from the football team so you don't see her anymore.
Banned.
Yeah, I'm like, what about the kids, the motherfucking kids?
Don't worry. Baylor University is looking higher right now. Trust me.
And then ironically, as you speak about the money too, I remember we talked about that before, where how long ago, was not that long ago, we was talking about all of the horrible things that were going on with Baylor football, right? It
Yes.
kind of seeped into some of the other athletic programs. But then the men's basketball team at Baylor won a national championship. Let's go Bears. Let's go Bears. I'm telling you, man. I told y'all, tried to tell y'all a long time ago. You were telling me the feds coming in, all the other stuff. I was like, wait till March Madness coming. All that's going to dissipate. It's going to go. You going to tell me Kansas is not going to be in a tournament? Man, come on.
A lifetime contract. My man cheated, got caught. He got a lifetime contract.
I want to know who was the whistleblower with the masseuse. Some guy didn't get the extra treatment. They got mad. Everybody else got it because somebody had. I mean, the players weren't complaining. So who was the whistleblower?
You know what it is? It's probably some older gentleman that said, I just got wind of something. You might want to take care of it because we don't want to come into a major scandal. So they just shut it down. All right. You know, Law, you can now come to any more football games. Anything else, you're banned. You can't even come on campus anymore.
They should at least put a picture of her up, though. At least.
Yeah, I like to see
a picture of her something, you know.
So if I run into it, you know. Haters, boy, haters. Black.
Always say this real quick.
Down, boy, I swear.
Well, all this stuff happens after we get out of high school and college. I don't understand this stuff.
Yeah. All the teachers with the high school students.
All of that.
Oh my God.
I said nothing.
I wouldn't have said nothing. Not my boys, nothing. I'm gonna tell my mama. My mama looking through my phone. Oh my God, you did. Oh,
they leave it on their phone.
Haters.
We was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Man. I gotta think, man. When you basically say to your quarterback, we're gonna go basically sign an undrafted receiver that you played with in high school, this is your team. That's what the Baltimore Ravens did for Lamar Jackson. They went and signed one of those old high school receivers that didn't get drafted this year. After the draft, said, come on over here, and you all get that magic on again. Is that something or what?
Ice? I'm
going to just say this, and you know how it rolls. I mean, you might have better. They've been so desperate for wide receivers. They try to get everybody. But if Lamar Jackson can make that man have magic again and show him where they show that little, here's what they said. He probably drew 2 plays in the dirt and the dude ran the route perfectly and caught over a couple cornerbacks. And it's like, we need to sign him. He's a lot better than that other guy we got from West Texas State. I'm just telling you, man. Yeah, you got a chemistry. So why not? That's your quarterback. If you think he can get his boy in the league, hey, that's how they doing it. Everybody's talking about these other guys. If he can run and play like that too. Anyway, Tim Tebow. Anyway, but if you got your people on there, you sign them, let them get a contract, and you figure out how they're going to be great. At least this guy has a legitimate chance, perhaps, of maybe making a play on special teams. And it's Lamar's boy. You got room. Nothing else on the practice squad.
Well, it can't hurt, man. At least he played the position, Tim Tebow. At least he has some familiarity with the position. And maybe they do have a chemistry. It's worth a try. It's worth a try. If it doesn't work out, you haven't lost anything. You go back to the drawing board and get you another receiver. But if they had some magic in high school, they want to try him out. God knows they need a receiver. And they need somebody that he can connect with. He seems to be out there kind of like on an island, just running the ball and afraid to throw it to anybody, tight ends, anybody. But if he can build a connection and this guy works out, man, it'll be a great story. Black?
I think it's a smart move. And it kind of shows Lamar, hey, man, we're behind you. We're trying to get receivers behind you. So they know they got a contract coming up soon. They might want a discount. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this, man. Watch this story about Tim Tebow. And I say it from this point of view. Last week, Rex Ryan was hating the story. Hating it.
I saw that.
Yes. Now he's all for it. He can help the team. And then you have people that's just basically jumping on the bandwagon. And I'm wondering, what's going on with this? What's really going on with this? Because, like I said, when it first came out, nobody liked this dude. Nobody. Now you got Rex Ryan, you got Rich Eisenheimer. I think it's great. Eisen on this. What is going on? I mean, the cat never played tight end. And you mean to tell me, I'm just going to use Rex Ryan as an example. You think this cat's walking into Jacksonville and his work ethic is going to help them win games? And these other grown men ain't going to look at it. They're not going to lose respect for this head coach and this team as a franchise and see them as a joke before the season starts? You got to be kidding me. But watch the people and remember the ones that come out hard for this and act like it's a beautiful thing for the NFL. Because these same ones were quiet, very quiet, when Colin Kaepernick was getting banned and didn't want to say too much about it. Mm-hmm. So just keep an eye out for the ones that really toting the T Cole flag. Skip Bayless, another one. Yeah. He's better than they have there. Are you kidding me? If that's the case, why don't other teams bring him a tight end?
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Matter of fact, didn't that coach, didn't Ryan try him out at tight end when they were with the Jets? And
he brought him to the Jets and they cut him.
Yeah.
In his prime. In his prime.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now he can help a team. How?
You know what? He can help networks because think about when Tim Tebow was playing. It was Tim Tebow 24/7. That was the story in all these networks.
That's why I said watch how it's changing. Watch now how the monologue is changing, bro. Because Tim Tebow brings a lot of white Christians to the television. It's not his game. It's the mere fact of his religion. Watch.
All right. Last second shot, Ice.
Yeah, I was going to think about something else, but I'm going to stay right there because you guys mentioned about the comparison between, they've been comparing a lot of Tim Tebow and Colin Kaepernick. I'm going to just say this. We hear all of this, and some of us are in an uproar about why Colin Kaepernick is not getting the look. Dude, it's a wrap, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all need to get over that, bro. If you sit there thinking something else is going to happen, they're going to do him a favor. Colin Kaepernick going to get another chance. They showed you already. They played the game. They tried to trick him. They went undercover, came out the back door, still tried to get that on. This is nothing about Colin Kaepernick's skill set and playing football. And stop being that way for a long time. They know it, and they can always find another way to twist what they want to get done what they want to, because it is their club. They make the rules, they pay the bills, and they pay the salaries, and they do the manipulating. So if you don't like it, they basically telling you to hell with you. Turn it off.
What?
My last second shot's gonna kind of jump on that a little bit because I think this is the case. This is not the NFL. This is Urban Meyer. NFL did Urban Meyer to bring Tebow back. Urban Meyer did, in a sense. And this is where I respect Urban Meyer. As dumb as it looks, and as crazy as it looks, he's doing a friend. He's doing a favor for a young man that's helped him years ago that he believes in. And I'm gonna say this: as Black NFL head coaches, you can learn from this. There's no reason that a Black head coach could not have stood up and got Colin Kaepernick in the league. There's no reason. Put your arm around him. Bring him in. Mike Tomlin, you're a damn fool, bro. You ain't never hired a Black person. And you tell me, you gonna bring Kaepernick to Pittsburgh and let him play? Let him try out? You think they was gonna fire you? They're gonna fire you at some point anyway, you Goon. I'm being honest, bro. You ain't never hired a person that looks like you. So keep eating that food and thinking it's all about you. So I don't blame Urban Meyer. When you're in a position to do something, take advantage of it. But he's too dumb. As Black men, we want to sit around and be passive. So I'm not mad at him at all, bro. It's not the NFL. It's not. There are Black coaches that could have brought Colin Kaepernick in. They were scared to say his name. Well, let's bring him to town. Scared to say his name. So I'm tired of us looking at them and don't look at us first. Here again, Mike Tomlin hasn't hired a Black individual. Mike Tomlin on his staff. The Roonies don't tell him who to hire. They don't tell him who to hire. You're the head coach. Bring him in. I want this man. Bring him in. If they were to fire you, there'd have been an uproar in the league, bro. Uproar. But when we're going to be passive and we're going to be scared, we deserve what we get. That's my last second shot.
Good shot, fellas. My shot's going to go to horse racing. And there got to be some kind of way where if a horse cheats, and wins, that if they do the results again, that other people who betted prior should, benefit from the order changing in the horse race. Because I found out that no matter if the horse cheated or not, the results stay the same. Whoever won the money. That's it. And I think there should be a rule to change that. So I put $50 on that, and and damn it, I want my money back. That's our show. We will see you next time. Check out Overtime right here. Don't click the button. I want my money back. That horse cheated, man. Oh, we rubbed him with some ointment and it has steroids in it, and he cheats to win. No wonder he wouldn't let nobody pass him. He was all hyped up. It's wrong, Ice. It's wrong. And the brother's out $50.
Oh, man.
I told you to go with number 8. You didn't listen.
Uh,
I told you number 8. You didn't listen to me. You'd have went with number 8, even though he cheated, you still be a winner.
I was asking because Pop follows horse racing. I said, Pop, so if he didn't win and the other horse wins, do we? He's like, no, that's it. That's it.
Hey, man.
Ask the money back from the people after they won.
Let me ask you this: You ever played 3-card Monte in your life?
No, I watched my cousin take people's money. I watched too many people get their money taken. I'm not.
So my question is: when everybody knew in there they was cheating and they got cheated, did the other people get their money back?
Nah.
So guess what? Why do you think they're gonna do that different in horse race?
Yeah, like a casino, the house always wins.
Man, you got to pay attention, man. I mean, look, you just got to be on the right deal at the right time. Now, what's gonna be ironic is because the Preakness is this week.
Yeah, he gonna run, right?
Huh?
The horse is gonna run again.
Oh, you says he's gonna win again?
He's gonna run again.
Yeah, he's running again, minus the trainer. So Bob Baptist's not there anymore. So now they're gonna try to push it up. So now it's like, well, he still got the ointment on him, right? Or maybe not. So the question is, this is where it gets murky, which is now it's going to bring more money into it. This is really, they playing games with people that really get into horse racing. So now it's like, do you bet on the same horse that won, even though he's cheated?
Right.
Or do you go with somebody else where you say, well, he's great. The only thing different is he's not going to be having the ointment on him, but he still can win. So people going to follow that horse, and then one of them long shots going to come up and go, whoop, whoop, whoop. So it's a catch-22, but that's going to drive more money and more people to come to see whether or not the horse really was that good and he was cheating, and that's why this is going to happen. More people will pay money to go one side or the other. But again, it is Thursday. We're going on Friday. We got the Black Eyed Susan tomorrow up at Pimlico, and then we have with the fillies, and then we have the race on Saturday. And they still talking about it. So the fact that they still talking about it, you're going to bet again, aren't you?
Thinking about it.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Thinking about it.
Yeah, I did. So look, they already won.